Hi, welcome back to the Quiet Room. This is a story about how my lipid panel has changed over the years and what Zepbound is doing to help me. If that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned. All right, so for this video, I have a lot of notes because this is the history of my LDL numbers or my lipid panel. Okay, so first thing I'm going to tell you is that there's three things that numbers that you need to be focused on. The first one is cholesterol, and cholesterol. I'm going to go to my notes. Cholesterol is your overall fat in your body, right? So it's how much fat you have stored in your body, and I can tell you what cholesterol does in your bodies or in your system overall. So when I was teaching chemistry or science, I used to tell people that cholesterol was like toothpicks. And so if you think of like a Jell-O cake, right? If you stuck toothpicks into the Jell-O, it'll keep you from smashing the Jell-O, right? So a little bit of it is good because it keeps stability, structure, so that other things can't damage that pile of Jell-O. If you would, if you were to put your hand on that Jell-O, you wouldn't smash it down because there's toothpicks going to stick your hand. Where it gets bad is if you imagine that Jell-O now with all toothpicks in it. So now the structure is completely changed. It was supposed to be this fluid, mobile thing, and now it's hard and brittle and it can break. And so that's why cholesterol, too much cholesterol, is bad. And then your LDL, um, is your bad cholesterol, and so it builds up plaque in your arteries. It's actually what's building up in your arteries, and so if these sticks or plaques are built up in your arteries, then it can stop blood flow to your heart and your brain. That would be the definition of a stroke or a heart attack, and just overall bad circulation, which could cut off circulation to different parts of your body and make your overall health bad. So that's why the LDL number is high, is bad, and then your HDL is your good number. The HDL is supposed to be the number that you have, and you want more of this. It actually gets rid of the bad cholesterol. And then your triglycerides are just your extra stored fat in your body, and it's linked to insulin resistance. So that's why it comes into a play for me as I'm on the Zepbound or Tirzepatide journey. Okay, so 10 reasons why high lipids are bad. So it increases your risk of heart disease. We've talked about that. It leads to plaque buildup in your arteries, which is a really big no-no. You don't want your arteries, you don't want the, think of it like plumbing, right? You want the water to flow through freely. And in this case, it's your blood flowing through freely, which is delivering oxygen to different parts of your body. If any pathway is blocked, your body will try to find a way around it. But you don't want pathways blocked. It raises your risk of stroke. So we talked about it. These arteries or veins are blocked in your brain. That's what's the definition of a stroke. And so if there's plaque building up in your system, and because your system is like a highway, right? All these arteries and veins are connected. It can move anywhere because it's just this little ball or hard gristle, and so it can move anywhere. So that's how it can end up in your brain. It can end up in your heart, and those vessels are very small compared to, say, the bigger arteries in your leg or in your arm or in your legs. So it raises your risk for circulation. It causes poor circulation, which just means less oxygen getting to other parts of your body, which again can lead to fatigue, tired, or even you know how some people need parts of their body to be amputated because there's not enough blood flow getting into that area. It increases inflammation in the body. It's linked to insulin resistant, which builds up all the other things that I talked about in my A1C video, so I'll link it here if you haven't already looked at that video. And then it can worsen diabetes or pre-diabetes, which again is linked to my A1C number video. So it affects your brain health and cognition. It can lead to fatty liver diseases, and often there's no symptoms until it's serious. So that's why I'm telling you guys that looking at your numbers may feel weird and too analytical, but it's good to look at them. I think I've started taking it more serious the last 6 years, so since 2020 when I had the first diagnosis, because before then, let me not say that. It's not that I ever took them serious. Before then, before 2020, for me personally, my numbers always just came back spot on and perfect. My husband and I have always done life insurance because we have the 6 kids, so it's a very big deal to us. And my numbers are always great every year. I didn't look at my numbers because my doctor always just said everything was normal. So I didn't start paying detailed attention until something was out of whack. And that first thing that was out of whack that caught me off guard was the A1C number. I really can't say I even focused on the triglycerides because, again, when I did the Weight Watchers to lose weight in, I don't know when, I was like 27 years old, so a while ago, I learned about like cholesterol and eating butters and milks, and or the things you add in that count as points in the Weight Watcher system. When it used to be based off points, everything you added in added points to it. So you can make a simple meal get to 27 points in the Weight Watcher system just because you added a whole lot of things. So I learned then to stop adding things. And then my mother was a vegetarian, so we never really cooked like that. And I'm from California. I think there's a difference in people in California, our natural foods. I didn't learn what rotel was until I moved to the South, to Memphis with my husband, and learning a lot of the Southern foods. I learned those when I moved to Memphis, because in California we eat lettuce wraps all day long. So, like I told you, when I was growing up, I was a size 5 or 6, and I was considered a bigger girl. In California, at like 125 pounds at 18, I was considered a larger girl. So, I didn't have food issues. Until I moved to the South, until I started adulting, and then dealing with my unprocessed trauma from childhood. So 10 ways that I think the Zepbound has helped me, because I fought this battle. So like I said, 2020 is when I first started realizing I had problems. 2020, I was 42 years old. So not horrible, but still pretty early to start having life or death issues, if you will. So I started trying to pay attention to my health and walk. And I guess the last 10 years before that, so like my 30s to 40s, was probably a more sad time, if you will. It's funny because that's when I left medical school, became a teacher. So more than I'll say sad, it's just that teaching lifestyle is very sedentary. You're working all day, you're eating crap all day, you're barely having moments to yourself. Then when I became an administrator, there's a picture, I'm going to insert it here. There here. There's a picture when I was an administrator, and it's the largest I've ever been. So your life and your day is just busy. So I can't say sad. It's just that I was not a priority at this point. My kids were all high school, doing all the things. So I just wasn't a priority. I don't think I was actually sad. I just wasn't a priority. So my kids, my family, my job, those were priorities. And so this last few years is me trying to figure out how to make Claudia a priority. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I know if you ask me again when I was 30, maybe if I had the hindsight now, I'd pay more attention. But I don't regret how much energy I spent on my family, if that makes sense. But in hindsight, maybe I could have balanced it out more. One of the things that I've learned, and that's kind of where our financial situation is maybe my husband was right on some things that I could have let go, because I'm such a personality that I also didn't let a lot of things go and was trying to hold things to such high standards. So maybe I would do some things better and different, prioritize things a little better. I guess I would. But I cannot go back. I can only go forward. So that's what this journey is for me for Zepbound. 10 ways that Zepbound or Tirzepatide has helped me. It's improved my insulin sensitivity. We've talked about that one. That is a big one. And as I get frustrated, because the stupid scale is still 191, 194. I've been here for 6 weeks, y'all. Watching the numbers is also going to be important. So I guess I'm okay. I guess the total number that matters the most is not the scale. And we talk about that all the time. And there's other ways to measure yourself. But I do think that going through this data, it's very important that it's not just about your the scale, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. Lowers your blood sugar, really important. Reduces cravings and overeating. So that's how Tirzepatide helps. It supports weight loss. It lowers triglycerides. It can reduce LDL, the bad cholesterol, and help increase HDL, the good cholesterol, and reduces inflammation, improves metabolic function overall, and helps your body use energy more efficiently. So you guys know I walked a lot, and I'm always high energy, but being able to walk like that, I was walking 10 to 25,000 steps a day and not being exhausted, like seriously. Just, I guess if you were a car, if I would describe myself as like a hot rod, right? A car that can go from 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. All my life I've been this, but just where I was putting this energy, maybe I was doing donuts, just spinning out, doing all the wrong things. But Zepbound has helped me to try to send that energy trajectory to the right locations, if that makes sense, for myself and getting myself healthier and better. So good use of your efficiency and your energy, and I think that's just brain clarity also, so I'm very thankful for it. My numbers are still not perfect. You're going to see, here's my overall data. Um, the numbers are still not perfect. I'm actually kind of really upset. Just to be honest and transparent, upset's probably not a good word, but it caught me off guard that right now my A1C number was amazing. It's 5.6, yay! But my overall cholesterol was 256, which is fairly high. And I did do some research and it looked up and it said that because Zepbound is bringing all the fat into your system, that could be it. That is dumping, because I told you guys I don't eat a lot. Now I will say, because I'm so focused on proteins, that being an RBT and I only have a 30-minute lunch, that I do prioritize protein. So I'll run to Burger King and grab a burger. You guys have seen me do that. Run to Whataburger. You've seen me do that. Grab a breakfast sandwich. So maybe the things that I'm running and grabbing, the fast food restaurants, even Chipotle, or I do Panda Express, maybe those things aren't the best for me. So maybe I told you guys that I'm gonna do the meal prep. I keep saying that. So maybe if I actually prep my own food, it'll actually change it. So you guys know I have my blood work on April 16th with my doctor. So this one was done on the 30th. So I think today is the 5th, the 4th. So I will see. That's not a lot of time, but that gives me what, 12 days, 10 to 12 days. So 10 days. I'll try not to eat fast food in that 10 days and see what happens to my cholesterol number. See if I can bring it down. Also, one of the things that I am not doing well is eating enough fiber. So it says that's also one of the things that can do it. So I bought some, I love oatmeal. I bought it, but I haven't been eating it. So I'm going to try to prioritize oatmeal, some sort of nut, and apples every single morning, because all those are really good fiber and they help bring down the cholesterol. So if I prioritize that as the morning, drink my protein, and then eat a healthy protein also a couple times, then maybe that will help. So it's only 10 days, but we'll see. So on the 30th, the number said 256, which was not amazing. The highest I had ever had that number was 307 or 303. But the data here is my chart. I've shown you guys. So 256 is not amazing. I think the lowest I ever had it when I was just walking and exercising after the gastric sleeve was 194. Not ever, in this time frame, in 2020 till now, because before 2020 my number, I still went to the doctor regularly, but my number never was off the chart, if that makes sense. So 194 in this time frame, 2020 to 2026, is the lowest I've ever had it, and right now it's 256. Don't love that number, so still have work to do. So again, it's also about my eating, and that's something that I'm going to prioritize. I told you guys that I'm also going to try to prioritize a nutritionist, just because obviously eating what I'm eating matters. So I will do that, but I'm gonna have to wait till I figure out the Zepbound and my doctor and all that good stuff. So maybe May, June will be the time that I prioritize my seeing a nutritionist, but I will keep working on it on my own in this time frame. So this is my lipid panel journey on my Tirzepatide or Zepbound GLP numbers. So this week I'm also going to go ahead and insert the shots for this week. This is my second shot of 7.5 milligrams, and the way it goes on the Lavender Sky is you do 84 milligrams or 84 milliliters or units in the needle. And so I'll show you what the needle is when I'm doing it, just to show you what I'm inserting is 84 units. So this is my second one. I have been hungry, which is not a bad thing. I'm actually trying to get away from the fact that I'm hungry. They say that the Lavender Sky compound is a lot more gentler. I don't have any other symptoms like anything else. I guess constipation could be a symptom, but not. Constipation for me has always been a normal, if that makes sense, and just depends on how much water I drink and how much moving I do. Depends on how my bowels move, or if I'm on my cycle now. If I'm on my cycle, then my moves move differently. So that's been an ongoing thing, and maybe that's linked also. So I'll figure that out as I'm doing this journey. But So you'll see this is me doing my 7.5, the second shot. Scale is still 194. I think earlier this week it was 191, so that did make me excited. But overall, this week it's been like 194 and 193, 195, so it hasn't really changed. I have gone to Hot Works 3 times, so I'll insert some footage of that also in this video. And yeah, this is my lipid panel version, my second shot of compound Tirzepatide. And I also, it's April 4th, so I've already applied for Weight Watchers to do my Zepbound. But I actually asked for Mounjaro, so it'll come in pens. I really don't like that. I like the vials, guys. I really like the freedom of doing it myself, so I really like the vials. But I applied for Mounjaro because it'll be approved, because I do have diabetes in my record, in my medical record, so it should be approved. Even though my A1C number now is not, but it should be approved. So that just takes a couple of weeks. So all of this, the first few weeks of April, to get this, to get see if it's approved for Mounjaro. If not, in between time, I will stick with the Lavender Sky. If it does get approved, then I'll switch over to the Mounjaro, and then I won't order another dose of the Lavender Sky. If it doesn't get approved, then I'll just continue to use Lavender Sky. And I'm also thinking about changing my dose, but we'll talk about that in another video, because I went up to 7.5. Like most people, I went up because the scale is just not moving, but it's still not moving, and there's a lot of things that need to be done in me. Kind of the food intake is very serious. So yeah, another thing, Weight Watchers wants me to drop back down to 2.5 milligrams because I had 11 days without the medicine. Remember, I didn't want to have that, but I did end up waiting because I ordered it from Lavender Sky, but the process took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, so I still had 11 days without a shot. I think it might have even been 13 days total. So these first 2 shots, I feel like it's just my body getting used to it. So it's 7.5. Who knows? Maybe I'll see a big swoosh. But I'm just riding this journey and sharing it with you. So this is my cholesterol lipid panel, and we need to. Can you get out the way of the video? Why did you not tell me? I have to read. Under stars we ride tonight. City lights so bright, alright. Down, we feel the breeze. Heartbeats fast, we're free with ease. Radio plays our favorite song. We sing loud, we sing along. No maps, just the open road. Together sharing stories told. Midnight drive, we come alive. Cruising roads, we feel the vibe. Every mile, just you and me. Chasing dreams beneath the tree. Street signs blurring on our rear view. In the sky, the darkest blue. Laughing loud without a care. You and me, the perfect pair. Shining just for us. World belongs to us, no fuss. Moonlit skies, we're hand in hand. Wanderlust, we understand. Midnight drive, we come alive. Cruising roads, we feel the vibe. For us, world belongs to us, no fuss.